morning. I'm Katherine Savitt, CEO of Lockerz.com, and over the past few years, I've become so maniacally obsessed about Generation Z that I actually founded and built a social commerce and entertainment platform for this revolutionary generation. In 16 months or less, Lockerz has grown from 50 college students in the United States to more than 17.5 million members in 195 countries. Amazingly, we've also collected more than 172 million responses to answers about this crazy generation. So let's get started. It's hard to talk about Gen Z for me in only 10 minutes, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Basically, this generation is the convergence of three demographics having babies. Late boomers, Generation Y getting eager a little bit soon, but mostly Generation X. So we're going to define it, even though demographers talk about it, debate on the exact dates, as 1992 post-Clinton to 2010, which makes us around 65 million Gen Zs in the United States, 275 million in first world nations. And given that we've become a global economy, 1.6 billion and growing throughout the world. The amazing thing about these guys and girls is that they have been started as digital natives. They were born with a mouse in their hand, and to them, they are not savvy about technology. Technology is completely transparent to them, and it's not something they think about other than the gee whiz of a new Apple product or a new device. There's lots to say about the hallmarks of Generation Z, but one of my favorite is to talk about the age of AADD, or what we call Acquired Attention Deficit Disorder. An amazing fact is that 71% of Gen Zs report simultaneous use of mobile with either internet or TV. So imagine them just sitting watching television with 5 other kids and actually texting one another rather than talking. 69% report having 3 windows open at the same time during one online session. So for all of us that think we're developing the next engaging site, remember that we'll never be engaging enough to hold Gen Z. There's also the expectation that life follows video games. My good friend and board member Bing Gordon likes to talk about the video gamification of life for youth culture. That is such a hallmark for Gen Z. It's all about collection, validation, and expression. And the more gaming you can get with a site, the more engaging it's going to be for customers. There's also a reclassification of cheating. So when I was in high school or college, cheating was something to avoid getting caught doing or to avoid doing altogether. Cheating was bad. Today there are thousands of blogs, thousands of websites, and probably millions of texts where gamers, college students, and just internet users talk about how to get a cheat for a game or for a site. It no longer means you're a bad person, it means you're a smart person. This generation has an unprecedented ability to collect and process information as a result of AADD. So much so that anthropologists and neurosurgeons have joined together for a growing discipline called Neuroplasticity. And the theory basically says that our brains evolve much the way that evolution follows. So going forward, we will never, once Zs have children, go back to pre-Z thinking. Those multitasking, brain information processing components will be embedded in our customers and our DNA forever. So what about curation? That's the hallmark, really, of what a Gen Z like to do. There's 3 vectors I talk about because they're the most mature right now for curation. First, entertainment. On-demand has become the new normal. A Gen Z will not stay up late or change their schedule to actually watch something on TV or even to worry about a DVR. That is so Generation Y. Instead, they're watching things when they want to, whether they pay for it or not. They're watching more content on a non-television than they are on a television. That doesn't mean they're not watching Family Guy or The Office, but they're watching it alongside of YouTube classics like Scary Car and Scarlet Takes a Tumble. It's not that Gen Zs think that they're exactly alike, but rather they don't care. They're completely agnostic as to what's going to entertain them at any given moment. They are taking the iPod strategy for music and now defining it for television content for their generation. That has tremendously revolutionary impacts for traditional retailing. For commerce, gone will be the days of the badge brand. My former gig was CMO. I was at Amazon as a leader and then American Eagle as a leader. And American Eagle was very much about the badge brand. You could look down a high school hall and see that the hot girls were wearing Abercrombie, the preps were wearing American Eagle, the goths were wearing Hot Topic, but Gen Z categorically rejects that. Instead, they want Jessica Alba's really cute boots that they saw on the TMZ. They want that handmade vest their friend told them about from Etsy, and they'll use a price bot for a Target tank. From a social standpoint, it goes well beyond 62% of our members reporting that they have 250 friends on a social network. Instead, social from a curatorial standpoint means I'm doing it because my friend said so. My friend said it was cool. My friend discovered it first. And the psychology is, how can I discover it first? We manifest our curatorial generation in 3 key behaviors. Share means expressing my individual cool and actually getting validated by my friends. Express is all about content. It's about being able to not only express your views via the internet, but express your views directly to your friends and to companies. At Lockerz, we get more than 50,000 emails and texts a week asking us for new features. And then finally, consumption. It's not just about buying for yourself. It's about sharing my curation. I'm cool. I'm sharing my mix with you. I'm going to close this slide with some interesting data points. I talked about the 62%, but 86% have actually shared one video this month. 65% of Generation Z has actually shared a video this week. 73% report discovering through my friend as the most important way to find new products. Think about that from a marketing and a brand perspective. That completely turns traditional marketing on its head and more akin to the way we talked when the Clue Train Manifesto first came out many years ago. And 93%, which is just astronomical, have actually created what we call content online. That might be as simple as posting on a friend's wall. It may be about posting a photo, or it may be actually creating a video. Woe to the days when a vertically integrated media company actually believes that it's going to be able to control this generation. 2 movies came out the same weekend. One was Year One with Jack Black and Michael Cera, and one was Paranormal Activity. And the marketing for Year One was, look, it's Jack Black and the Juno guy. And hey, guess what? It's from the people that did American Pie. And then there was this low-budget film with very little marketing that no one ever saw. And which film kicked which film's butt? You all know, it was Paranormal. And the reason was because it was good. And the reason why Year One failed was because it sucked. And ultimately, Gen Z, there is no hiding. They are curators. They are curators on steroids, and they will out you. They will out the quality of your product, and more importantly, they will become passionate marketers for the product that you create if it's actually inspiring and engaging to them. So ready or not, the Z future is here. One of the biggest opportunities for companies, both online and off, is that Gen Z is the most influential generation in modern history. Instead of aspiring up to behaviors, other generations, such as Gen Xers and Gen Y, are emulating and copying Gen Zs. So I don't know how many of you have ever seen the silly band craze, but they started with 9 and 10-year-olds, and suddenly fashion models were wearing them at the Lanvin, at a runway show. Or moms were wearing them to run carpool because they were cool, and that's the power of curation. My final point is sort of a call to arms. You really don't want to spend lots of time getting creative with your brand. I don't mean creative in terms of not innovating. You absolutely want to innovate. But to spend cycles on actually carefully crafting a closed, controlled marketing message for your brand with Generation Z will result in failure. Instead, make your brand open. Make your product amazing. Make your product easy to achieve, validate, and most important, make your company make it have ability to be curated. Thank you very much.